everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Kendall and welcome to my channel, Kendall the Model Scholar. If this is your first time here, thank you and welcome. If you're returning, thank you and welcome back. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps me and it is certainly going to help you, and you will be the first to know about all the great content that I have planned for you on the channel. And I hope that you all are enjoying this the episodes that I'm shooting, giving different tips and tricks about weddings. I definitely tips and tricks. I said tips and tips, whatever I said, but tips and tricks about weddings and wedding planning and all of that. I definitely hope that's been useful to you, and you can watch some of my previous videos that are on the channel. But today I've got another great one for you, and I'm going to be talking about how you select your bridesmaids. This is very important, and it's definitely something that can make or break your wedding experience. And so, it's also something I think that we kind of take lightly or take for granted. But as a bride, it's very important that the women or men who are standing next to you on your big day are going to be there to support you, lift you up, and help you have the best day possible. Because we definitely all seen some of the bridal shows, Bridezillas, whatever you watch, or even heard horror stories from other people about drama or issues that happened concerning their bridesmaids. So I think that the women you choose are, it's very important. It's a very huge decision because, again, like I said, it can make or break your experience. And I know for me, if you see the picture behind me, the 7 wonderful women that I chose to stand next to me on my big day, I couldn't have chosen better people, and I'm going to help you learn how to make this process easy, breezy, beautiful. So, first of all, when you're selecting your bridesmaids, you need to come up with a number and you need to stick firm with that number. So if you jump back and forth about, I think I'm gonna have 5, no, I think I'm gonna have 8, no, I think 10, no, I think 3, that's not going to help you. So I think from jump, after you get the ring and you're starting the planning process and you figure out what you think the date's going to be, all of that, you have your venue, and then you start thinking about, who am I going to choose? Definitely select a number and stay firm on that number. I think, again, if you keep changing your mind, you're never going to be able to narrow it down and make decisions. So if you say you're going to go with 5, you need to stick with 5. The only way I would change is if, you absolutely forgot somebody, or there's some, serious, it would be some big serious issue in your family if you didn't choose this particular person, so you had to make a concession. But I would say, first off, it's very important to pick a number and stick with it. So as you can see in my picture behind me, I had 7 bridesmaids, and I chose the number. I was firm about that number from the beginning. I think also what may impact your number a little bit is actually your partner. So if you try to choose 10 bridesmaids and maybe your partner doesn't have 10 guys that they can match up with, that's not going to work. So you also need to confirm with your future spouse that that number is going to work for them, because it's not just about you. So and I've seen situations, because actually at my wedding, the numbers were uneven because one of the groomsmen actually couldn't make it anymore. So we had 6 groomsmen and 7 bridesmaids, which it worked out totally fine. But most of the time, you do want it was originally even. It was 7 and 7. And so you don't want to have 5 groomsmen and 8 bridesmaids because your partner doesn't have enough people to match your number. So that's something else you really need to take into consideration, because the wedding is not just about you, it's about your partner. So you want to check with them and say hey, I think I'm probably going to have 7 bridesmaids. Is that going to work for you? Are you going to be able to find 7 people? And if they can't, are you going to be able to then help them find 7 people that you think makes sense for them to stand at your wedding? So that's the second consideration. Is once you think you're firm on your number, you need to talk to your partner, because that can impact your number. You don't want to pick, say I'm going to have 10 bridesmaids and your partner's well, I'm only really close to 5 people. So, that means you will have to make some decisions. But I would say stick firm to your number. Once you have that number, confirm with your spouse that that's going to be doable. Next, I think it's really important to understand what the roles are of, of the people that stand in your wedding, because then that will also help you decide who you would choose. So, for example, like, your maid or matron of honors and really like the best men, they're kind of like the right hand people for you. So you don't want to pick somebody who you haven't spoken to in 10 years, or somebody who you're just like putting them in the wedding just so you can say you had them. Like, that doesn't really make sense, because you are really going to have to rely on these people heavily for certain things throughout the wedding planning process. Like, for example, the maid or matron of honor and the best man, they're going to be planning your bachelor and bachelorette parties. So that's kind of a big responsibility. So you want to choose somebody that you know is going to come through for you on that. Also, like for the bride side, your bridesmaids, really the maid and matron of honor take the lead on it, but the other bridesmaids also help plan the bridal shower. Like, that's, if you're having a bridal shower, like that's another big component of your wedding day. And so you want to make sure that the people that you select to fill those roles are actually going to come through. You don't want it to be that you're ending up planning your own party, your own bachelorette trip, or your own bridal shower because you chose someone that's not reliable. So it's definitely important that you think about the roles. So definitely for maid and matron of honor, you're going to be picking people who you should be relatively close to and who are major main women in your life, because they need to know you, know what you like, and be able to lead the way in all the planning stuff. So they, also have to exhibit some type of leadership skills. So they're going to have to pull a group of women together to be able to successfully plan all these things for you and make your day special. So definitely consider what roles people are supposed to play. And if you're not sure because like you never have been around weddings or don't know what that's supposed to look like, again, as I've said in some of my prior videos, Google is your friend. You can Google or look up plenty of stuff, or even if you buy, as I suggested in my wedding recap video, if you buy a hard copy wedding planning book, they definitely have pages in there that will tell you, like, this is what the maid of honor duties are. This is what the best men duties are. This is what, this is what they should be doing. What should the bridesmaid be doing? All of that stuff will be in there. Also, if you do stuff like, if you get a bridal subscription box, I know I did the Miss to Mrs. box, and they included like a card in there that literally was like, this is what your, maid of honor should be doing. This is what, the bridesmaid should be doing. This is what you should be doing as the bride. Should you pay for this? Should you pay for that? Like, there's ways that you can find out what the roles are. And then that will definitely help you determine even more like, okay, this is who I should be selecting. And I think that is good depending on your relationships with people. Again, I don't know. Everybody's situation is different. If you're a person that has 5 sisters and you're close to all of them, those might be your only bridesmaids. But like for me, I had 2 sisters, and then my husband has a sister. So they were automatically chosen as bridesmaids. And then I had a couple of cousins who, that was difficult because I'm close to all my cousins, but I kind of chose the ones who, like I was close to. And then I had a couple friends. So I think that if you're a person who has close family members and friends, it's nice to mix it in together. So like I had my 2 best friends, 2 cousins, and then 3 sisters. So that was a nice mixture of both family and friends, which turned out to be great. So I think like you need to also consider that, like, are you going to mix family and friends? Are you only going to have friends? Are you only going to have family? That's something else that you need to consider. So I would definitely put that on the top of the list, is like, how are you going to mix people? And I think that, depending on what your number is, then that will let you know, like, okay, how many family members do I want to have versus friends? Then there's also the other awkward thing that could happen, is that you could ask somebody and they could say no. So then what do you do about that? And I think it's really up to you. I mean, you don't have to replace them. You could just decrease your number by 1, or if it's really important to you that you had 6 bridesmaids and one person said no or they're not available, then you can try to replace them. But I would say only replace them if the replacement is also somebody who's significant in your life. Again, we don't want to just pick random people so we can have a particular number. So if you, ask 6 women to be in your wedding and one of them would just happen to not be able to do it or wasn't available for a particular reason, because that does happen, and you don't have anybody that else that can replace them that's close enough to you, then just don't do it. Just You're just going to have one less. Because again, this is a huge commitment for the women that you select. It's not just one event. It's not just the wedding day. It's the day before for the wedding rehearsals. It's the bridal shower. It's the bachelorette party. It's coming to an appointment to pick a bridesmaid's dress out. All of that stuff. So like, it's not just a one day thing. It's kind of like a year long or a year and a half long or however long your engagement is, commitment that this person has to be able to make to actually make it to the day of standing next to you, because that's the easy part when you make it there. But it's like there's a bunch of steps before that needs to happen. You also don't want to choose women that are going to try to compete with you. That sounds weird, but like that does happen. So like you don't want to choose people where you want them to wear a certain color and that person's going to be like, no, well, I actually want to wear red. And you clearly stated that your wedding colors was burgundy and navy blue and that the bridesmaids are wearing burgundy. So that's another thing you want to make sure of, is that you want to pick people that you know are going to respect what you're trying to do and what your wishes are, because that, again, is going to cause some unnecessary stress. So I would say definitely think about that. And at the end of the day, if you pick the right people, everything's going to go smoothly. It's going to turn out great. They're going to be there to support you, and you're going to have the best day ever. So again, thank you for watching. I hope that you found this useful. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.